It's Amanda from the Hinman Holistic Health Institute, and today I'm sharing with you my number one strategy to not only spend less time and have more frustration around food preparation for your family, but also to help create a system that you're gonna be able to help your kids learn to eat more real, nutritious, healthy foods. So how does that sound? I know a lot of moms out there are always saying, you know, my kids are just picky and I can't get them to eat different vegetables and try new things, or they feel frustrated because they spend so much time and it's really cumbersome to do all the meal prep and the shopping and the cooking and the planning for eating healthy in their family. So my strategy that I'm going to share today is going to help you on both of those fronts. And this is something I've been doing a lot of talks in the last few weeks and sharing this tool because it's gotten such positive feedback and had such impactful change for people when they do it as a practice. And I say that's really important, is to do it as a practice. It's not something that you take once and then it's perfect, boom, done, never have to think about it again. This tool is creating a weekly meal planner. So I have this sample here, and if you click on the information in this blog post, you'll be able to download your weekly meal planner and create yours. And what do I mean by creating a schedule? This is really helpful to streamline things and make it easier. So you know what you're buying when you go to the grocery store. You know what's coming up on the radar for meal preparation for dinner, even in the morning. And I'm telling you, just having that plan in place starts to simplify things. And the consistency of having a similar plan for each week starts to create efficiencies of scale. All of a sudden, you're going to get really good at some of the processes and the ways to save time, the ways to cut back. So what does this look like? So for an example, I like to use this as a framework and then build in your own flexibility as you're moving along. So on my family's weekly meal planner, we have every Sunday morning, Mike makes omelets. He's great at making omelets and the girls love them and I love them. So Sunday breakfast is always omelets. Sunday dinner is some type of soup. In the summer, it's more of a cold, cool, refreshing soup. In the wintertime and the, cold months, we snuggle up with some heartier like stews and chilies and things like that. But year round, you can totally shift it out and be flexible. For example, every Monday night, we like to have a grill night, and Tuesday night is taco night. Wednesday night is stir fry night or pork night. So just kind of giving yourself the broad categories, broad strokes of a game plan starts to give you flexibility and structure at the same time when it comes to preparing your family's food. And why is this so beneficial? Well, anytime we have a plan in place, think about it. You can think back to a day where you knew what you were going to make for dinner, you knew you had all the ingredients on hand, and you knew that it was something that your kids were going to enjoy, and it wasn't going to be fighting, it wasn't going to be hassles. So many times when our biggest frustrations are the days that we come home, we've had a long day, we've either been running around doing things or at work, the kids have been in school and then shuffling to and from activities, and all of a sudden it's 5 o'clock and no one's thought about what's for dinner. So that's when you grab the quickest, fastest thing that's usually not very nourishing. And usually there's a lot of arguments. No, I don't want that. I want this. Or no, I don't want to eat this. That is when the breakdown happens. And that's when things fall apart. So having that plan in place is going to help avoid those pitfalls. And more important than that, as a mom, I want you to think about not only giving yourself a template of what type of meals you want to have for breakfast, lunch, and dinner throughout the week, but also think about the responsibility and the preparation time. And there are a couple different ways to divide this up. It's not reasonable to assume that you are going to prepare 21 meals a week, every single week, forever. At least not for most of us. I know for me, that would get old very fast and I would just be burnt out. So creating a plan to either have your spouse be involved, where you designate days, maybe certain days of the week he can go to work a little bit later and he can do breakfast in the morning, or he can be home and help with dinner, or even pack lunches the night before for your kids as they're getting off to school. Or if that's not an option and it doesn't fit for your schedule, then allocate days that you can batch cook and have leftovers. So all you have to do for the next meal is just simply warm it up, right? So my kids love to take leftover spaghetti or even leftover fajitas and tacos to school the next day for lunch. Another option in terms of allocating and really being honest with yourself in terms of your time management, your responsibility, is if you know that you're going to eat out a certain number of days of the week just because of the schedule or the things that you have going on, put that in the routine. Put that in on Tuesday nights, we have takeout night. And then you can choose to select maybe from a healthier option of a restaurant you're taking out from, but build it in so that you have some downtime and you give yourself some of that that break from responsibility for every single meal. That is a way that you can have this be successful in the long term. So not only when you're creating your meal plan, putting in, like I said, that framework of what type of foods you want to eat, also putting in what who's responsible for the meal. Is it you going to be preparing it, cooking it, and serving it? Or is it going to be maybe your kids helping out and packing their own lunch for school? Or maybe your husband picking up dinner on Friday night on his way home from work? What does that look like for you? And delegate responsibility as well as a game plan for what the meal is going to be. And now you may be coming up with those thoughts in your heads and those things thinking, oh, this sounds great, or I've tried this, but it doesn't work, or my husband would never go for this. He doesn't want to eat tacos every single Tuesday night. He's going to be bored. If you find that you're having resistance coming up around this tool and this strategy, then it's a matter of finding a way to shift that perspective so that you can have this work for you. Because there is great value in finding out how to make a predictable, proven strategy that has worked for hundreds of people fit into your life and help work in the way that's going to be most beneficial for you. So maybe you're thinking, my husband would never go for this. He doesn't want to have tacos every single Tuesday. Well, instead of stopping right there and stopping your forward momentum, it's a matter of thinking, I'm worried about my husband, the way he'll feel and his frustration level. I have a question for you. What do you think is going to be more impactful for the way that he's going to feel after coming home from work? The fact that he's having tacos every 7 days, which he may not even notice if you don't point out the fact that you're following a schedule, or the fact that he comes home to his wife who's feeling frustrated and irritated and exhausted because she's scrambling around for what to prepare for dinner. The reality is there's always a way that you can bring in these tools and make them work, especially if you open up and have that conversation. Rather than saying, this is what we're doing, we have to stick to this. That's not really fun. No one wants to be told what to do. Start that conversation from a standpoint of, I really could use some help in streamlining our food preparation, and I'm hopeful that you can be flexible with me and help me come up with a game plan that can work for both of us. It's all about the presentation. It's really about strategically thinking about how can this work for me? How will this be beneficial? And that's why it's so important to have support in this. Many times we have tools and we have these great ideas, yet we don't put them into practice because knowing how to do it successfully and knowing how to stick with it consistently are the challenges. And ongoing support will always guide you through that. I also mentioned that this is a practice, right? Just like you don't take your kid to soccer for the first time and drop them off, and if they miss the goal, you think, oh, that'll never work. They should give up on soccer. It's a practice. It's something that, yes, there are going to be weeks that you fall off. There are going to be times that you don't stick to the meal plan and you are just really frustrated and frazzled when it comes to meals. That's okay. That happens, and that's par for the course. If you build that expectation into your assumption that this is a practice and what can I learn from that I can do different for the next time, that's how you continue forward progress and you make things easier and easier as time goes on for you and for your family. And to comment on the idea about how will this help broaden your child's palate, this is really inviting because kids love consistency. Sometimes we adults like a little bit more variability and change things up and kind of go with the flow. Kids have so much inconsistency and uncertainty in their lives that they really thrive when there can be a predictable experience for them. So even coming home to know that, oh my gosh, this morning is egg sandwich day. I love egg sandwich day. They can start to be more accepting and open to ideas, and if it's serving something that normally isn't their favorite, if in time they start to see that, hey, this is an option that's just always continuously on the menu and I don't have to force feed my child to eat it, yet they may start to open up to, well, everyone else is eating this and maybe if I just try a bite this week, it won't be that bad. You'll be surprised that in time, as this is an ongoing practice, it really starts to expand the template for what your kids are willing to eat, especially when they see that this is just the way things are. It's not something that they can fly by the seat of their pants and just say, no, I don't want that, or I don't eat that. That's just the way things are. And that's how your whole energy around the meal presentation comes across for them. So again, this is a tool I'm going to have you download if you would like to get started on your own weekly meal planner. Then click on the link that's in this article and you can download yours to start to fill in. And for those of you that would like some support, like I said, it doesn't happen in a magic window all by itself. It's not like just take this off and boom, no problems. If you would like some support on how to have those conversations with your family, or how to lay out your meal plan so that you can have the most ease and simplicity when you're setting it up, I invite you to hop on a call with me. I would love to connect with you and provide some insights and see how we can make this work for you. So there will also be a link at the end of this article to schedule a time to connect with me, and we can create a game plan that's going to be most successful for your family. And I look forward to supporting you in any way that I can. Thanks, and have a great day.